Okay, so this is a video for those who are actually here in the UK. It's a channel that most of you might know. LBC, Leading Britain's Conversations. And funnily enough, this afternoon show I was driving home, and what they were talking about was this new phrase, in-work poverty. It's fascinating because for a long time no one spoke about it. No one spoke about it. Said, oh, the unemployment rate has gone down. But they're not talking about how many people are working 2, 3 jobs between 2 people and are still struggling. And they asked, what would the solution for something like this be? And you know the problem about it is? There isn't one. That's the sad news. There isn't a solution for what's going on. For these times that we're in, there isn't a solution for it. It just has to run its course. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but there is no course of action for it. It's going to have to run its course because the whole entire system is, it's top heavy. You know, they were complaining about the wage and the minimal wage allowance, and they asked about the average pay, and and I can't remember the name of the presenter. He usually does some pretty good talks, but I don't remember his name. And he said, oh, this is not just something that occurs in London. This is a national thing. And I wanted to go a bit further than that, actually, because the power of YouTube, obviously, is quite international. And what I think is interesting is, see, I don't think it's a national thing. I think it's an international thing. The wealth gap is, as it stands, is at its largest it's ever been. 1% of the population have more wealth than the other 99% combined. But in the meantime, we've got people starving and dying around the globe. I don't know if any of you actually paid attention to alternative media over the last few months, because they were quite hot on publicizing all the floods that was happening in India and China, and all the other stuff before the crazy hurricanes kicked up. But people are struggling everywhere. I said about the people in Yemen, on average 5,000 new cholera cases a day, and that was the situation for at least about 8 weeks. No one's really covering it at the moment. Does that mean it's finished? No. Sometimes I find that the channels, be it mainstream media, be it alternative media, I find after a while news stops being reported. I'm not sure if it's because the interest has died off or what, but the bottom line of it is, it's not being covered. Now, the issue that we've got here is we're now into October and the winter's fastly approaching. I wonder how many families are not going to be able to run their heating as best as they should be this winter. Because I'm noticing a trend. Every winter, the situation gets worse. A few winters ago, we had pensioners freezing to death in their own homes because they weren't able to afford to pay for the gas. And I always ask the same question. How does this even remotely sound correct? How is it even possible? When you look at the pay of some, how does that work? How exactly does that work? Because I remember reading somewhere, an article of a CEO for a charity company, and his annual salary was 300,000. I thought, wow, charity's good business. Absolutely ridiculous. There was a lady that came on that same show, that same radio show today, and she says that between her and her husband, they make £24,000 a year, and they have 2 kids. Would you believe that in order for one of her kids to get a new pair of school shoes, they had to miss a few meals? but both are working full time, or there or thereabouts, because in the UK we have this massive childcare issue where it seems like most people are just pretty much working to pay for the actual childcare. So it makes one wonder, are you better off just spending the time with your kids instead? Because you're going to work and then you're paying someone else to take your kids through the most important years of their lives. And they wonder why people keep living on benefits. If it's that hard to be in work and you don't get to enjoy your family time, it does make you think, right? It does make you think. If people are actually in full-time employment and still can't afford to give their children what they need and have food on their table and to live a comfortable life, but people are doing that on the benefit, and they get to spend time with their kids, then why would people want to come off the benefit? And it seems fascinating because, of course, I mean, I know that it is the agenda. The agenda is to have a state-dependent society. I get it. (2017) and this is how we're living. This is England. And both parents working and still can't fully support their family. What's going on? I hear everyone talking and complaining and whatever about this whole Brexit situation. I'm neither here nor there with it. I'm more interested in what's going to happen after, because the bottom line of it is it's going to be a massive problem in any case. Either solution is going to reach for an issue. But I just can't believe that in 2017 we still have, we have this problem of people not being able to feed themselves. But we've got multi-billionaires. Dare I say even trillionaires. I said before about these multi-billion-dollar companies and these multi-trillion pounds, dollars, yen industries. How does that work when people still can't eat food? Where people still have to suffer for drinking water? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. None whatsoever. Absolutely none. So that's a new phrase now. In-work poverty, guys. In-work poverty. Could you believe it? You'll be in work and you'll work for most of the days, but you're still in poverty. Do you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like slavery. Yeah? That's in-work poverty. AKA slavery. I keep telling people, slavery never ended. It evolved. Yeah? This is slavery 2.0. In-work poverty. They do this funny PR stunt where they like to rename things and add quirky little phrases to them. In-work poverty. I'm sorry, but that just sounds like it's either A, an oxymoron, or B, it's slavery. Because, yeah, you're working, but guess what? You're not living. You are surviving. Kind of reminds me of the old, get yourself a job, a J-O-B, just over broke. Guess what? Yeah. Yeah, because in-work poverty, that's a new thing. God damn.